be the first podcaster to make it to the top of Mount Midoriyami. And welcome to I Need a Hobby, a podcast. I'm this week's host, Alex. And to my right, his first crush growing up was American Ninja Warrior superstar Casey Catanzaro. Hubba hubba. His words, not mine. Andrew.
Is that a girl?
Yes.
Nice.
And to my left, his first crush growing up was former NFL player turned American Ninja Warrior co-host Akbar Gaba Viamila. My. His words, not mine. Chris.
Is that a girl?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, so what's this podcast all about? It's not about comparing our former crushes. It's about challenges, hobbies, and activities. This is I Need a Hobby. Every week we do a challenge, hobby, and activity. As I said, we are a bunch of, three young kids working the 9 to 5, but this podcast.
Dude, what is so funny,
all
Alex?
about the 5 to 9.
What's going on?
Alex heard a really funny joke, but it's just a little too inappropriate for the podcast.
Yeah, we can't reveal
It's
it.
about Akbar.
What's his name again?
Akbar Grahi Viamila.
My. I mean,
can't tell if you're stuttering or like.
I just don't know. I thought it was funny because I don't know how to pronounce his name.
that is
Never
kinda
even
funny.
heard of him.
All right.
As an
All right.
NFL player.
So, he's the host. He's the
We'll save it for the
host
pod.
of the episode we're talking about. Not me, of course, the host of this episode. You guys have never heard of him?
Oh,
for
I've heard
God's
of him.
sakes?
I was
No.
just watching the show.
Okay. So what's going on with you guys this week?
Not much. We're just having a pretty striking conversation.
Yeah, we were
before the
getting
pod.
up the material set up to record the podcast, and we just got into a great talk about television shows.
Yeah. We were talking about Trailer Park Boys, actually.
Specifically, we were talking about dads watching TV shows. My dad is recently obsessed with Trailer Park Boys. I'm trying to decide if that's like normal. I don't
Have
know
you
if
guys
you guys
ever
have seen the
watched
show,
it?
but it's like
I think it looks stupid.
it's basically just like I've seen a couple of episodes. It's pretty funny, but it's like very crude humor, very not
Yeah.
dad humor.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't seem. I've never seen it, but like I know what you mean. I feel like I've seen clips, and it doesn't seem dad appropriate at all.
yeah.
But I think, like, it looks like crude or whatever, stupid. But I always thought that about the show Entourage, that it was probably like a weird, like jerk kind of show. But I've been watching a few episodes.
And your dad loves
it's like
it
a
too,
quality
right?
show. Yeah, my dad got me into it.
Yeah. What kind of shows your dad watch, Andrew?
Oh, my dad in TV is like so weird. This is I don't know if I've told you guys this, but no joke. Like my brother and I have caught him at least once watching the season finale of a show because he wanted to see if the show looked good. It's like that is just the worst idea ever. So he just like randomly has TV shows on random channels too. Like
Yeah, that is that's weird.
definitely weird,
But
right?
he started with the last.
He'll find like just either a random Netflix show or like a Hulu show or something super random and watch like a little bit of it and then never watch it. And then or like what I was saying is something's on TV and he'll watch like a later episode. But literally one time it was the season finale.
Yeah,
to
that's
see if
wild.
the show looked good.
That's very scary.
Just very strange.
I feel like they shouldn't even air the season finale of a show on TV, like
That's fair.
other than its set time. Because
Like-
what if you're stumbling on it and then that show's spoiled for you? And it's
Especially like
ruined?
one of the shows that's on all the time. Like what if you're like, oh, I'll watch like Friends, it's on, and then it's just like
Yeah.
everything.
I don't know how
Yeah,
it ends.
that's
to
too
be
much.
honest,
It could be
but-
a cool like unlocky kind of thing, you know? Like it's like you've watched like the first 9 episodes. Here's this code.
Yeah, yeah.
Type it into
Ooh,
your
yeah.
browser, and now you can unlock the finale.
Man.
No one would be.
Yeah,
into
no
that.
one would care. No one would like think it was worth the effort. But I think it's
Yeah,
better
it'd be
than
cool. It'd be a cool
watching it accidentally.
treasure hunt.
Yeah, Treasure Hunt's underrated.
Speaking of Trailer Park Boys, which is like a weird show that for some reason extremely popular. Have you guys ever seen Rick and Morty?
Oh
no,
yeah,
No,
Is that a good show?
I haven't seen it, but I have friends who are like
It's-
very into it.
yeah.
It's another
Like,
one where
it's a weird culture.
Everyone's into it
Seems
right
so
now. No, it's like
weird.
it's not a weird culture though. Like
It is.
It's like
it is.
it's like no, but like everyone.
No,
likes
that's what I'm
that
saying.
show.
I'm just
Like,
saying it's strange.
I
that
feel
so
like
many people are
anyone
obsessed
could
with
watch
it.
that show and be like, "This is so
Have you
like
seen it?
amazing."
Is it good?
I think it's good. I think it's okay, but like I feel like I also am having that skeptical mentality that I can tell you have, Alex, where you
I've
are
never
just
seen it, but
But you can.
I've seen clips.
I
so
feel like
I'm
you're not
judging
gonna
it.
like it no matter what.
Probably.
It's very clever. Like I remember they made a joke about like Bobby Moynihan, which I think is really funny. You know Bobby
Yeah,
Moynihan?
yeah.
SNL.
Bobby
Yeah.
Moynihan is just like that classic SNL guy. Like you're definitely picturing him in
Yeah.
your head if you're listening. You're like, oh, it's that guy. Like and like Rick and Morty made a joke about how like I forget, like somehow really far in the future, like Bobby Moynihan is, or like in another dimension, but like Bobby Moynihan is like still on SNL. Like I think
Oh,
that
that's
kind of
funny.
stuff is like clever and funny.
Yeah, it's
That
a
is
good
funny.
reference.
But like the idea of the show is very strange, and I feel like anytime a show gets a weird cult following, it gets like uncomfortable. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Something about it being on like the Cartoon Network too. Is that where? Or is
Yeah,
that where
it
it's
is,
on?
yeah.
So I
It's
don't
on
know.
Adult Swim though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like everyone was
Or is it not?
freaking out on it is. Everyone was freaking out on April Fool's Day when it's like, no guys, not a joke. Rick and Morty dropped the season 3 premiere. Like
yeah, they're like
newsflash,
that's
like,
so Rick and Morty.
oh yeah,
to do
like
that.
yeah, oh of course Rick and
That
Morty
is,
would
like-
do
Like,
that.
they're probably
it's
gonna take it
really,
off.
really like, oh god, that actually really upset me. I was like, who cares?
Because I
Stop,
feel
stop.
like because I really like that show BoJack Horseman. You guys ever watch that?
Yeah, but it's in a similar mind place for me.
Yeah,
where it's
same.
Like a
to me,
weird
those
cartoon
shows are very
that's like,
similar, even
I'm
though
sure
they,
it's
they
funny.
probably
I've seen a
aren't.
couple episodes.
I
of
have
that.
not seen Rick and Morty, but I've seen BoJack Horseman. So Rick and Morty to me is in that place where it's like, ugh, that's just like stupid, like probably easy jokes, crude jokes.
It's pretty funny.
But BoJack to me is like, that's like a smart show. Like they like.
Oh,
it's
see,
not,
so I
so
think
they're probably the
I
same.
think you'll like them.
They're probably
yeah.
the same, but I
Yeah.
haven't. I don't think I'll ever watch it. It
You know
seems
what?
stupid.
You know what kind of TV shows I like to
I
watch?
just don't like the cult following.
All I really am watching these days is American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, American Ninja Warrior, baby.
Nice.
All right, so
That's interesting.
we'll get into the topic of this week. I think this was originally a challenge that was suggested to us by a fan of the show, Mike,
Huh.
but we didn't do it as a challenge because I don't think it would have really worked.
Didn't
Yeah,
really
it
where we
work.
were.
wouldn't have worked.
But we did American Ninja Warrior this week. There is a gym near us. I guess it's a gym called Action Athletics. We might as well give them a little plug
Yeah.
right
Let's give
now.
him a shout out.
They were nice. The guys were nice.
Yeah, the guys are really good, and it's like I guess it's advertised as an American Ninja Warrior like training gym.
Yeah. Chris
Yeah.
was saying that real ninjas, or I mean, real contestants.
I saw a couple of real ninjas.
Yeah, there were some ninjas. But real Ninja Warrior contestants have trained there.
Yeah, that's what it
So
looks
that's
like. At least
interesting.
based
you
on
think
the
they've
website.
made it onto TV? Well, also this place that we were at recently moved, so the place was like semi unfinished.
Yeah,
say.
I would say
Yeah,
that
they're still working on it. But I mean, just to paint a picture to you guys, so you walk in, just like a big open space, and you go around the corner, and there's pretty
There's
much
4 warped walls. For God's sakes.
literally
There
4
are
warped
4 warped
walls,
walls,
which
yeah.
is what we were the most excited about, which we'll
Yeah.
definitely get into.
Yeah.
But then there's like a bunch of other little like obstacles, like trampolines where you jump up and then grab onto things. There's
Everything's
a
hanging.
salmon ladder. There's a lot of
Yeah.
rings and
Oh,
foam
hold on,
pits.
We gotta explain these.
Yeah, we
So we'll
explain
start.
that. Well, we should start with the basis of the show, really.
Right.
Yeah.
So American Ninja Warrior is this. It's basically like an obstacle course race.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a set obstacle course for every stage.
Yeah, and
So
it's heavily reliant on physical, like strength and
Right.
kind of
yeah.
like that. I don't know, the stuff that like wouldn't make you like really good at any sports, but like,
Right.
not like bodybuilding. I
It's
can't
like
really explain it.
gymnasts and rock climbers are very
Yeah.
good at
Yeah.
American
Yes.
Ninja Warrior.
Mhm.
Like, those are always the
It's kind of like that parkour sort of vibe too, just like
yeah.
Mhm.
Like random like,
jumping around, grabbing high
like-
speed, you know.
Like, why are you doing that? And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you see them on
All
top
of a
of
sudden.
Mount Manamanori or whatever it's called. So we went. I mean, I went in thinking like, I don't know what did you guys go in thinking? I didn't like. I knew it wouldn't be set up like an obstacle course like American
Yeah.
Ninja
I
Warrior.
pictured it being way bigger. Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of. You know what? One thing I pictured it being higher up. I feel like every obstacle was
That's
so
true, yeah.
was low,
low
yeah.
to the ground. I woke up the next day. This is not a joke. In my hips, like the front of my hips, my hip flexors were sore because I had to pick my legs up from
yeah,
the ground.
when we were swinging.
Because if you touch the ground, you're disqualified.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, a lot of the rings were literally maybe 6 feet in the air, so it's like,
Yeah. So
or
if you
maybe a
want to
little
grab
bit
on,
higher,
you
but
gotta.
it's like if I could basically touch the ground, which
Yeah.
was good because we weren't getting hurt. But I mean, it would have been fun if they had like the water pits like they do in the show,
That would've
or
been awesome.
or even like the foam pits.
I was hoping for like foam.
over
I
the
mean,
rings.
it
That
was
would be
fine
fun.
how it was because if like we fell doing the salmon ladder and whatnot, and you just fall on.
Yeah, I'd say this
foam
place
padding.
wasn't as extreme as you might picture if you watch the show and you think,
Definitely.
oh, we're going
Yeah.
to do that. But it's like it's similar obstacles, similar things. Just like it's basically to train you to
Yeah,
be on the show.
and I'll
like,
say
to
this
have
right
those
now, like
skills.
you were saying, it's similar. The people who would be good are similar, like physically, to rock climbers. But
Right.
I at least for me, this gym was not like rock climbing at all. I pictured it. I
No.
thought it was totally different.
yeah,
Rock
in all
climbing is like a
aspects.
chill. You could like sit back.
Yeah,
And like lay
Mhm.
down for 15 minutes and then go. I don't know. This one was like, I almost feel like there was like a I know there wasn't, but I would see if there was like a birthday, like a kid's birthday party going on.
That's true.
Like while we were there, I would have been like, oh, that's normal for this
Yeah.
place.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
I mean, this place I think it seemed like it's marketed towards kids a lot. Like just looking through the website, like a lot of the
Yeah.
like they do birthday parties, they do like they have camps all summer.
And even the day we went was they had open gyms all day, different ages. So the first one started at like probably 10 in the morning, and it was for 12 and under.
Yeah.
So if the stuff was like hanging in the air for us, these kids would die probably falling down. You know.
And that does, I mean, and we'll get into it more. The stuff was pretty challenging, but imagine like a 12-year-old doing like
That's
what
true,
would they do there? Because it's like I don't know.
Honestly, I think the stuff that was hanging, like all the things that we had to jump and hang from with our hands, I think a 12-year-old could probably do that because it's like rock climbing.
Yeah,
when you see
it's like the jungle
kid rock
gym,
climbing. A lot of them are really good because they're so light. So like their strength to body weight is insane compared to us, where it's like our strength levels haven't increased that much, but our bodies, I mean, Chris especially, has gotten 3 times the size, you know, for God's sakes.
That's true.
So it's like,
God almighty.
But then again, if I'm watching American Ninja Warrior, there's no way a 12-year-old would be able to complete most of these courses.
Yeah.
It's
but
weird
like
that the gym
from
was, like,
what we
just different
did,
enough.
would we really have like do you think that training at that gym would have really prepped us for American Ninja Warrior? It just seemed like such a disparity.
I think not for the
know.
actual I think doing that would help, but it wouldn't like I couldn't imagine getting to the point where I could summit Mount Midoriyama just from hanging out there.
Yeah,
but at the same point, like how many gyms are gonna like none of them are gonna be that high in the air with like it's just dangerous unless you have really a lot of means to set up like the foam.
No,
pits
but even if it's
and-
not, even the fact that it's not high in the air, like the obstacle courses that we did were like, they didn't. I feel like we could have probably accomplished most of them if we really tried for like a week. Whereas if it's a gym that's really going to prepare you for the show,
that's true.
it should be very high caliber. Not that this gym wasn't. It's like, it's almost like it was.
Well,
two
there was
different
something
things
about
that
it,
we're
like,
training for.
we'll talk about the warped wall, but the warped wall was just kind of underwhelming. Like it was good, but then it was just like a half.
Well, let's
it was
get into
just
the warped
tiny.
wall.
All
Explain
right.
to the folks what the warped wall is.
So the warped wall is the most iconic, I think, of the Ninja,
I'd agree.
like American Ninja Warrior.
Other
Ninja
than
Warrior
I know most people,
TV
you
show.
think, oh, American Ninja Warrior, you think, oh, Akbar, the co-host,
Yeah.
Of course.
former NFL player.
Yeah.
Second thing,
or Casey.
warped wall. Yeah. Second
Yeah.
thing, Casey, the young gymnast, or I don't even know. Do you guys know who she is?
Well,
So, did she win?
I think
she was
like,
the first woman to finish the first round.
She made it really far, I think. Yeah.
Well, so the funny thing, I was watching American Ninja Warrior right before recording,
and you said you saw the host, and you said, "My."
Me and my girlfriend were watching it. I didn't realize that there are like Ninja Warrior celebrities, basically. Like we were watching it, and she knew people who were doing the. She was
Your
like, "Oh,
girlfriend?
that's so and so." Yeah,
Oh, she watches the show.
I
regularly?
guess I didn't know that
Wait, well, you mean like they're famous because they
because
compete
they're
on the show a
Yeah,
bunch.
it's not like
It's like the
not like
challenge.
Justin Bieber.
But that's like,
but it's like she knew the Casey girl. She was there, and then she knew a couple
but
other people's names.
See, that's weird. It's like,
It's like the challenge.
It's
You
a
know-
straight,
you know that show?
yeah. It's like JT and
oh wait, from
No,
MTV.
CT and
The challenge is
I
like
don't
on
remember any
MTV,
of
and
it.
it's just
I
like
remember. I never
it's
watched
just,
it though.
Oh, I think it's. Chris and I used to watch it a
Johnny
little bit.
Bananas. Is
But
that
yeah,
not the-
it's just funny because it's like
the same cast over and over.
yeah, it's literally like
with a
the
couple
same.
changes.
It's like twice a year, like Survivor, I think, but it's actually more or less like over 50%, or maybe not 50%.
not
There's
really
probably
more,
like
yeah.
7 to 8, maybe even 10 like regulars that are on every season. It's just ridiculous.
But
So they're
I
celebrities from that, just
and
like
it's a reality show.
yeah,
I think American Ninja Warrior is a little different because it's like
it is. But the principle is like, and here they are
Same
trying
cast with-
again.
oh, here's
so
the-
they're like
here's the
hyping-
rookie.
famous
They're like
people.
hyping them up as famous
Exactly.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
And there's also new people, but they'll always have like these people who have nothing to do except be on American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over and over
Which
again.
is funny.
Yeah,
because like
it's cool.
I think American Ninja Warrior, we're like completely derailing this from the warped
Yeah,
wall conversation.
that's all right.
I think American Ninja Warrior, like the idea of the show is really good, but then the fact they make it into this weird reality show where it's like they have to build up people's sob stories. Like
yeah.
they build up these celebrities and hype them up, like you were saying, as celebrities, and then the outside world thinks they're like important people. Like the fact that a girl made it through. Maybe I'm gonna sound like a jerk for saying this, but the fact that a girl made it through a round of American Ninja Warrior isn't that big of a deal. Girls should be able to make it through. Like nowadays, you see girls doing it all the time. So just the fact that she was the first girl.
Well, is that? Do you know that for a fact, or is that what we're assuming?
Yeah, I mean, they maybe they haven't made it to Mount Midoriyama for God's sakes, but neither have I.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and another thing she was saying,
there's nothing about the course that it's designed for men.
No,
or
I
anything.
agree with that. But what were you going to say?
She was
Chris?
saying that now that it's been a few seasons, there was this one guy who was there, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that guy always gets the wild card." So they can bring people on. So there's like qualifying rounds, and then the last round's in Vegas. That's where they have like the finals, and they have a certain amount of wild cards where they let people in who. Just
See,
whoever
that's
they
the-
want.
that's the
So it's like
thing.
this
So-
guy who they were like, this guy's done it 6 times and then he failed, and they're like, he'll probably get the wild card though.
It's so,
Yeah,
like,
even though he
manufactured-
got like trashed on the second obstacle, and he's like, yeah, it's just not my day, but hopefully I'll get through it.
I think if you watch it as a reality show, it's okay. But they try to make themselves seem like a sport. So if this was
Yeah.
happening when
It's
we were
pick
watching
one-
like
pick
the
one, right?
MLB,
Yeah.
and it was like they really want like what's this, that Aaron Judge dude
yeah.
is
Yeah.
getting all this hype right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if the Yankees like started not doing very well, and the people were like,
Let's give him a
all
fourth
right,
strike.
they make it to the playoffs no matter what. That's
Yeah,
like what it
exactly.
would be like, and it's like, all right,
No,
you,
that-
if you're
that's a good
if you're
point.
It's like
taking
if the
this
fan
like
votes for
if
the
this
wild
is-
card.
Yeah, here's the fan vote.
Yeah, seriously, if this is
Literally.
like
Who's gonna make
seriously
it?
an athletic event,
Right.
treat it
Yeah.
like that. If it's a reality show, fine.
That's true.
Another thing is with the backstories that they make up. Have
Ooh,
you guys
make up?
watched it? No, I mean not make. Well, kind of actually.
Like play
like
up
one of the
there.
guys' backstories was like he had like a rough upbringing or something. Like,
Yeah. Do you ever
like,
think about that?
some kid made fun of me in 7th grade. Like that's
Yeah.
his backstory. That's like essentially what some of them are.
I always think about if I was on a show like this or like American Idol, which I'll never be on either of them.
Yeah.
Well, American
what
Idol's
would be
over
my
with.
story? Like, I like.
That's what
What
I
am I
mean.
gonna say? Oh yeah, one time I got bullied, but
Imagine if
they're like, okay,
every-
roll with that.
Imagine if like every like game of an NBA game or something, they brought up one player and were like, oh, and it showed him like walking around sad in a park. Poor Chris Paul. He had this blah blah blah. They don't do that. You
Yeah.
don't do that for sports. So why are you doing it for American Ninja Warrior?
Pick
Yeah.
one.
Because me
That would
and
be
you,
really funny.
Chris.
Like
Yeah.
for like a playoff game, right? And it's like like the jumbotron is like Chris Paul for some reason
Yeah.
walking around, and it's like really sad. And then they like, because that's what they do with American Ninja Warrior, and then they like
Yeah.
they finish their little montage, and then they like show the guy, and then the guy like claps or something. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's like watching
exactly.
himself, and it's really
It's like,
strange.
strange.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Because unless we're the best, I would argue to say even if we were the best of the best, we wouldn't make it on American Ninja Warrior the show because we don't have a sad enough backstory.
That's true.
Right.
I have
But
to make
Chris-
We just have to be regulars.
Chris
Yes.
Paul,
Circular
Mhm.
argument.
CP3,
Sure.
Mhm.
C3PO even, any of them.
That guy's a
C3PO at American Ninja Warrior. Whoa,
I hope he
imagine.
doesn't hit the water. Chris Paul, imagine
circuit.
like Chris Paul, great basketball player. Imagine if they didn't let him in the NBA because he was too privileged growing up.
Yeah.
That's insane. But they do
Yeah.
that for American Ninja
Mhm.
Warrior and American Idol somehow.
Well, that's because it's like it's definitely an
It's
athletic.
more of a reality.
It's
But
like
that's what I'm saying
It's like
is-
America's Got Talent too. Like that show.
Yeah.
There are probably people who have a lot of talent, right? They go on far. But I feel like if you're gonna win,
You need
like
a sob story in the
you need a
background.
sub story, and you need
Especially
like
when there's voting
something
involved.
to be different, because some talents are so good that like if you're just like an illusionist or something, it's just like, wow, they fooled me again. But
Yeah.
then
But this is the blind
But, like-
illusionist.
Ooh. They got beaten up.
yeah.
That's like it's like Susan Boyle.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we get it. You have a beautiful voice, but also she's ugly. This is great.
Oh, God.
I love Susan Boyle.
Yeah,
don't
she's
worry.
great. We should get her on the show sometime.
But yeah, that's my beef with American Ninja Warrior.
All right, let's get
They
let's,
have to pick and choose.
let's get back into the warp
Make
ball
it a
because our-
sport or get ugly people on like
Yeah.
Susan Boyle. All right, yeah. So Andrew,
Let's get to the warp
explain-
ball. I'm excited for
explain the
Andrew
warp
to
Can I-
talk
can I
about the warp
explain
ball
the warp
because
wall?
this was kind of the reason I was excited to
Yeah.
go.
So the warped wall is a wall that is
warped.
it's warped.
It's like a half
it
pipe.
comes back at you. Picture kind of like a wave, really.
Quarter pipe, I would
Quarter
argue.
pipe, like a
But
classic
with
wave.
some arc at the top.
We're gonna put it on the
towards you.
Instagram, so
Yeah.
you'll be able to see it.
Mhm.
But it's so you can only run up to a certain point, and then you kind of have to either somehow run sideways, which I feel like some people can do better than us.
Wait, run sideways.
Not like totally sideways, but
what? Oh, you mean like
running up the wall, like
okay.
Looney Tunes style.
For some reason, I imagine like a side shuffle.
Like to cross the
Oh,
Such a
oh
weird
no!
wall.
Like not turning your body, but
yeah,
literally running like at like parallel.
but you
angle
can't.
to
You don't
the
want to
ground.
do that because you want to stay upright the whole time.
Right, but I feel like if some people are able to run it better and then do
Yeah.
less of a jump,
That's
is
true,
what I'm
'cause they
saying.
can-
Or you
yeah.
can run really fast and get a really good jump, and then you grab the top. So
Mhm.
yeah, picture like it'll be on the Instagram, but picture like kind of like a bicep, maybe even, or like a
Picture Andrew's bicep.
Yeah, picture my bicep. Or like a
14 and a half
wave
feet
curling
tall.
in.
Yeah,
That's what
I
the
think
wall
a half
is like.
pipe is a good. If you
Yeah.
think of like a quarter of a half pipe.
No,
No,
but
a
it's
quarter
not that
pipe.
because the half pipe.
All right, well, it's closer to a half pipe than it is to a
No, it's
human
not.
bicep.
Well, that shape of the arm.
All right,
Like,
sure.
what
Kind of,
I'm
yeah, a half pipe that tails in at the top.
The half pipe needs. You're right. It's a half pipe that tails into the top. Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that we're done explaining that, so I had said, or you guys should.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
so
Chris, you explain
Andrew, this had been going on for a while. I feel like this came up maybe like a year ago.
Yeah, I
or
think
something.
this was one of
Oh, I
the
didn't
first
know that.
ideas. Yeah, this was
Yeah.
one of the first ideas we had for a hobby because you really wanted to do it, Alex.
Yeah,
like
but
right when
then-
we were starting the
Like,
podcast.
even- show.
I think even maybe long before
I
the
love
podcast.
Casey
Before
Andrew,
this, okay.
we had
Wow.
been watching. Maybe we were just hanging out watching Ninja Warrior one night, and Andrew said, and the warped wall is.
It's kind of like the last
It's
stage
the
of the
last
first
thing
round,
for the
right?
first round.
Yeah.
So it's like how you finish. Andrew said with so much confidence that he could do it first try.
Yep.
And people are failing on this thing, like people who are on the show.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that's going through my mind before that. This is a warp. So first try, like the warped wall is nothing you've ever encountered before.
It's
Even
warped.
if it's easy or hard, doesn't matter. You've never encountered it. So it's almost like being able to swim a lap your first try. Yeah, it's easy to swim, but if you've never been swimming before and you jump in the water, you got to take a little bit to understand how water works.
Exactly.
So your first try should be feeling out the wall. Like that's what in my mind was like, all right, I could probably do it in 3 tries. First try I'll feel out the wall. Second try will be like an educated guess. Third try will be like a real attempt.
yeah.
So when Andrew's saying I know exactly how this works first try, makes me think this guy doesn't even know how to swim. For
I just
God's
pulled up
sakes.
the text too. So the night before we were like planning it, and he said, "I was doing some thinking last night. ... I'm even more confident than before. I can do warped wall on my first try."
Nice.
So we got there, and there were 4 warped walls. There was
Yeah.
a very easy one that I think I could have touched, honestly. Standing at the base
No,
of it,
we-
I probably
we
could
did
have
that.
touched
If I remember
the top.
correctly, I
Chris
think
did
it was,
that
so
at
it was
one point.
8 foot, 10 foot, 12 foot, and 14
14
foot.
feet.
And the guy
And
said on the show it's 14 and a half, but like 14, so it is basically the standard height.
Yeah.
So-
Well, yeah.
Well,
Okay. So we got all of them. We got 8, 10, and 12.
like
or whatever you said
easily
they
first
were.
try, all of us.
And then the 14-footer
Whew.
was, I don't know, I guess it was tough, you know?
It was tough.
The technique the guy said was run with your chest high, which I think was the best.
That was
the
really
best
helpful.
tip because then he said
Yeah.
like and really stomp the ground.
Yeah. I gotta say that guy.
Listen,
That
dude.
guy was. I mean, we only talked to him briefly, but you could tell he knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't
he
like
was.
him, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I didn't
really?
like him.
I kinda did
I didn't
Something
like
about
him
him.
because I could tell he was so much
He was
better than
too
me.
much. Yeah,
And like he
I don't know,
was
something about it.
so good at all this stuff, and like
Wait, but okay, he missed the warp wall though a couple times. Remember?
He was like a foot short. Well, he was like a foot
He was
shorter
shorter
than
than
me.
he was
Yeah.
probably.
He was
very
probably
short.
like 5'8".
But I looked over
maybe?
at one
Yeah.
point, and he was doing like handstand push-ups.
You could tell he's like a
this
gymnast.
guy. He's
Yeah.
probably like a gymnast, or
And
I mean, he's probably working out to get on this show.
I
Which
think
Yeah,
I guess
perhaps.
kudos to him.
I was seeing him as like because we knew he was a worker there, even though he
Mhm.
was pretending not to be. So
He kind of was.
in my
I
eyes,
think he was off the clock.
in my eyes, he should have been giving us tips.
Yeah.
But we had to ask him for a tip. So like as a worker, I didn't like him. As a
Oh.
regular guy, he's fine.
But he
I feel-
wasn't working. I
No,
don't
but
know.
I know.
I feel-
so
I
I
feel
know.
like-
I know I'm in the wrong here.
You
Yeah.
could be like,
But that's
other
what was going
people
through my
might be
mind.
insulted though. It's
Yeah,
like-
I know. It's like rock climbing.
It's like rock climbing because
You
I
don't,
remember
give, you don't give out the beta.
the last time I went rock climbing, some girl yelled at me, "Oh, like there's a hold by your foot," and I was
and he
like,
jumped off and said, "What? You will not give me the beta."
and it's like
it's this 8-year-old girl.
Chris is listening to the episode while
Yeah,
while climbing,
exactly.
pulls out your phone like, "Excuse me, I just got to this part."
but it's like it's something. It's like a weird double. Like, okay, thanks, that was helpful, but like,
Oh, it's like the guy who
Yeah.
moved my disc in disc golf.
Yeah,
Like, what was he
you're right.
thinking? Like, hey, I got you, man.
It's like-
it was way off the path. Like, no, dude, I got to throw from there.
It is weird that there's these there's these things with hobbies and activities where if you're an outsider, there's no reason why you should know that rule. Like with rock climbing, why wouldn't you try to help? They're hanging
Right.
on for dear life. It's terrifing.
It is
Chris has
scary.
peed his
Literally
pants at this
certain
point.
death.
I'm
if
holding
they fall.
Alex's hand
No.
somehow
Chris is holding my hand, Tower of Terror
on
style.
a V2.
Why
my dude.
wouldn't you? In fact, I think you're a real a-hole if you don't help
Yeah.
them out.
That's true.
But then when you get
But I have
in
this
the-
weird like.
when you get in the industry, you're like like not to. So then you look down at the people that don't know a rule that they shouldn't know. Like that guy running by, maybe it's a little bit different with disc golf, but if you were running on the street not on a disc golf course, and you found a disc there, it's perfectly fine for you to pick it up.
If you don't know,
you
the
know?
sport,
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So if you're walking on the street and you see 3 dumb idiots try to climb a warped wall, it's perfectly normal to give them tips.
Todd told me the other day that he sometimes he goes rock climbing, and he just like is just purposely hanging there waiting for someone to call
He
out
did
that
that.
spot,
And then
Yeah.
and then he just yells at
he
them.
says, "What? Why would you do that?"
Yeah.
And then
That's
he did
insane.
say he said this as a point of pride, which was weird.
Yeah.
That
That
was
he
strange.
goes and he paints the rock climbing holds different colors. So he tricks people into giving him tips.
Yeah.
And then he like scrubs the paint off and goes, "You idiot! Not only were you
Yeah,
showing me
touch
the
that
beta, but you're making me rainbow."
So he makes people feel really good when they're doing like a V7, and he
Yeah.
just painted the other
Yeah,
ones near it,
yeah.
and it's just like,
It's
wow,
like-
I did a V7.
It's like super. It like makes them feel great, but
I've
it's
even-
just messed
It's
up.
just not
you know?
okay.
I've even seen him, which is so weird. He's a rock climber. This has nothing to do with rock climbing. I've seen him paint a wall, Wile E. Coyote style, to be a railroad track. A train runs right into it. For God's sakes! I mean, he's a bad guy. He is a bad guy.
Did I tell you guys? I went disc golfing with Todd the other day, and well, he would always go first, and then he would stand, over by like the net or whatever you call it,
Yeah,
the
basket,
the
and
basket.
I'd throw the disc, and he brought the same disc. I later found out, and he would just put it in
But, oh.
and go chains, brother, and then
wow.
and I didn't know till like hole 14.
Oh
So
my
you-
God!
I got the first 14 holes in ones until I learned
Well, par 5. That's chains, brother. That's chains.
the double albatross,
No
brother.
way, Todd. It's chains.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean,
Well, we
he's-
love
he's
you,
just-
Todd. We
Yeah,
love
he's
you.
just been having some
Yeah,
issues with
cheers.
that, but it's okay.
So, Andrew, you make it up the warped wall or not?
It is cool that Todd couldn't even get the 8-foot warp wall.
It was 8 inches tall.
Yeah. So yeah, we were able to do it. The first 3 really easily, and then it was funny because the first time when we watched the guy who was demonstrating for us, he got it pretty easily, and then. Oh wait, no, did he get it? I actually don't remember.
I think he was like he
It
was
was
just
like-
showing.
Oh
us
yeah,
how
you know
to
what?
do
No,
it.
it looked like it was going to be easy.
He was like
for him,
warming up.
but he didn't get it. But it made me think.
I think he was
that-
showing us how to do it.
It
All right.
basically made me think that I wasn't like. I was thinking in my head like, okay, this is way too high for anyone. Like, I'm never going to be able to get this. Like,
Yeah, 'cause
so I felt better about. Okay, I'm not going to get this on my first try because I'm literally never going to get this.
Sure. Or any try.
But then it didn't work. Like, I didn't get it on my first try, and I was like, okay. Then I got it on like my 5th try, and I was
Yeah.
mad at myself that I didn't get it on my first, but it was fine.
Well,
'cause I
that
did it.
reminded me of another reason why I didn't like that guy. Is we're new to this place. He knows we're brand new there because he saw us check in. He at least saw Chris and I check
We
in.
told him we had a podcast.
And we should have.
Yeah.
Probably gotten in for free.
Probably.
But he knew we were new. Everyone was in the warped wall room, and he was in there using one of the 4 warped walls that we wanted to use. If he was a worker there, he should know, like, all right, let's let them exhaust themselves
Yeah,
in the
that's a
warped
good
wall
point,
first.
actually.
Like, that was kind of rude, you know?
Yeah.
That's like it's like if you were going rock climbing, for example, and you just stay on the V0s when you know it's someone's first time there. Like, don't do that. Let us do it.
but
know,
also,
you
like,
know
he,
that's what
but he
we're
was
there
off the
for.
clock. Like,
Yeah, so it's like it's
Also,
not-
wait, do you remember how the real worker introduced him to us? He said like, "Oh, this
This is Connor. He's strong.
yeah, that's literally he can help you. He's strong." And he just like nodded his head like, "Yeah, dude."
Then he like
He
rubbed
had
his
some of the
shoulder.
biggest biceps I've
He did
seen
have,
on
he was
a-
jacked. He was
you guys
jacked.
are you guys are like being way too harsh on this guy.
I think I
don't
have a
know.
crush on him.
He was
I don't know.
prick, honestly.
I
So
think
yeah,
we're,
so you ended up getting the warped wall.
Yep.
It took me a few tries. So like, I was able to get the warped wall to like touch the top with one hand.
You did that
kind of,
first, yeah.
and like maybe briefly hang, but not grab on really. And then it took me a few tries, but I was able to get it 2-handed. Chris, you want to
no
explain your
success
warped
from my
wall?
part. So I probably try to get 20, 30
Yeah,
times.
15,
And I will say
20
at the
times.
start, my technique was I was picturing high jump. Like, you know how the high jumpers will run up with kind of like a slow
Sure.
build up and then like arc towards
Yeah, you
it.
were doing
You
that.
were doing a weird.
And it was funny
angle
because you
the
guys
whole
called me
time.
out for doing it weird, and I realized it was literally I was thinking about the high jump.
That's interesting.
Well,
yeah.
it was
and I
funny-
tried to do the Fallsbury flop also. Just go right
that
over.
did not work.
think
Chris
it's-
just rolled down.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah, it's also
Fosbury.
Fosbury.
That was close.
You did the
I
false berry
falls.
flop.
It was false. I flopped.
But yeah, the it was as if Chris was like gearing up for a 100-meter race. You know how where you like kind of you start out where you're kind of, I don't know, not crouched, but you're leaning forward
Yeah.
because you're coming out of your stance, and then you get out and you're good.
Right.
But Chris was just like leaning until he jumped right when the guy had told us stick your chest out really high.
Up, like doing the
And he
opposite.
just was not doing
I
it
couldn't
right.
get the form down.
It
And
is-
honestly,
there wasn't a lot of space to run up, so I kind of see where you were going for there.
yeah, and it's like maybe if I had more space, I could have done it. But I think with the course that we had and the warped wall, like even if I had all day, I probably wouldn't have gotten it.
Right.
It would have taken. It wasn't like natural to me.
Well, that makes me
Yeah.
wonder, like, because it is 6 inches higher. Like the real one is 6 inches higher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I honestly feel like we would eventually be able to do
That's
it.
what I was
Towards the
saying.
end of it, you two were getting it like with
I was getting
not
we
ease, but like almost every
I would
time.
say over half we were
Yeah.
getting
so
it. Yeah.
And that was our first day. We were first hour and a half of
Yeah.
within 5.
But you are
trying
going to
our
be pretty
first-
tired if you're on Mount Midori. What do we call it?
Yeah, Mount
Monopolis
Midoriyami.
or something. Yeah.
The first time you said it, Chris, you like said it so
You said it perfectly.
proper and correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I was
you
having fun
did.
with
And
that.
now-
Alex was saying.
Now, fans at home will understand because we just cut out literally 3 minutes of Chris stuttering to try to get Mount Midoriyami out of his
Somehow,
mouth.
yeah, Mount Madagascar.
He said
Montenegro.
Madagascar 2 at one point.
Yeah, that's my second
Escape
guess.
to
actually.
Africa.
So yeah.
So the next thing, big thing that I wanted to bring up is this is a funny thing about the staff again, which is why I think this guy was a jerk. Because the other staff really helped us out here. There was this hanging punching bag
Oh yeah.
that we thought the
Oh, you're
idea
right.
was to like, which now thinking about it is
We looked like
ridiculously stupid.
George of the
To
Jungle
run
style.
up, yeah, George of the Jungle. Watch out for that tree, but now it's a hanging punching bag
Yeah.
that we would have to land or grab onto with our legs and hands. Now these are 3 men
Yeah.
running into a punching bag, legs spread as wide as can be, basically, begging to injure ourselves. If
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, folks at home. Yowie, you know what I mean? And the staff are probably looking at us thinking, these idiots. Like, basically what we had to do was hang from something else.
There's like a rope that you swung to get to that or something, right?
Yeah, I think there was like a hanging PVC pipe
Oh, that's what it was,
above horizontally
Yeah.
that we would have to hang to and then just grab the punching bag with our feet,
And like pull yourself towards
which
it.
is obvious. Like, why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah.
Instead, we
It
were
was
like,
just the perfect distance where like a big
It
jump
maybe
would
we
Yeah.
could
have
have gotten
worked.
it.
I don't think I would have. I was too afraid.
Did
it
you-
hurt my
yeah.
my manhood?
Well,
You
the
know
funny
what I'm
thing
saying?
was about the guy who we don't like, who I don't know. Maybe we're giving him too much heat. But after the nice guy told us, "Hey, man, this is what you're supposed to do," the other guy, do you remember exactly what he said? He said something like, "I want to play," and did what we were doing
he did-
successfully. And I
Yeah,
was
like that's what I mean.
all
Like,
right.
all right, dude,
thanks,
come on.
man. I
stick
know
with
you
your
have giant
warped wall.
biceps. Okay.
He tried-
I liked how we did that punching bag thing that was one of the first things we did. So I
Yeah.
feel like we at that point we were still going with like reckless abandon.
Yeah, we still had,
so
like, a
we
ton
just
of
were
energy.
like I remember the guy told us how to do it and I was like, yeah, that seems fun, but I feel like I'm almost getting
Yeah,
it.
I tried it,
yeah.
kept doing the run and jump.
But the way he did it, I feel like I would have gotten it the wrong way before the way that he did it.
Because that
it
way
was
was
hard to
was
Yeah.
definitely
so
tough.
hard to hang
It was
on.
like
for dear
it's hard to
life.
explain. It was clearly more practical, but might have even been more difficult for us
because
to do.
yeah, for me to grab the PVC
pipe,
it's
hold
so much
yourself
like
up.
forearm strength.
It's like
Right.
once you
don't
get
have.
to that strength level, it's much easier doing it that
Yeah.
way. But we weren't quite at the forearm strength level, so we had to
Yeah,
do it
I feel
the
like
stupid way.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of these things I was limited by my lack of forearm hand
Right.
strength. Even to like try like I don't know, hanging from the rings I could do, like from a bar I could
Those-
do.
yeah,
But
those
there
were
are a lot
doable.
of like pipes and like tiny balls. Imagine holding onto like a tennis ball suspended from a string. Is essentially
Yeah,
what
there
it
was
sounds
one.
Yeah.
There was one
which
like
is
the
so
one
hard.
where you jump off a trampoline and you had to grab a rope,
Oh,
like a gym
yeah.
class rope, which was good. But then you had to transition without touching the ground from a rope to like a piece of plywood, basically.
I called it the graham cracker.
It looked like a graham cracker
Yeah.
hanging from the
Yeah.
ceiling, and so transition while the rope is swinging to grab onto that.
Yeah.
Your forearms are burning like crazy already, and you're not even halfway done.
It's
Then you have to
incredibly hard.
transition to something else, and then something else. So it's
Yeah.
crazy.
And it's like with
Um,
us, like just getting past the rope would have been a feat.
Right, getting
Yeah.
onto the graham cracker like without touching the ground would have been.
We had a
That
nice
would've been bad.
video on the Instagram story of Chris jumping off that
Hmm.
onto
Yeah.
the rope, and it was clean.
Yeah.
that was like a.
It is.
That was fun, like going on the trampolines and
I did like
getting
the
a real
trampolines.
clean jump, and
That stuff
like
was a
you
lot
could
of fun.
get really high, definitely.
Doing the challenges like piece by piece were a lot of fun because they were doable, and you
Right.
could feel like even
And
like the rock wall stuff we did on the walls, like that's maybe
Yeah,
just a small part of what it was supposed to be, but we
Mhm.
got
but it was
past
still.
that.
And
one
I also
object.
will say, I did feel pretty safe for the most part. Like
yeah,
I felt
Yeah.
like I could kind of try really hard because I didn't feel like I was really going to hurt myself.
That's true. I don't
Which
think
was
there
a
was any of the stuff
compliment to
that
the
we
gym.
really could
The,
have.
the only one that I thought, which we should bring this up before we move into our next section, was with the salmon ladder.
Yeah,
so
we
they
definitely
had.
should talk about
So
that.
You've
the
seen the
salmon
show, you know
ladder-
what the salmon ladder is. But
Yeah, the salmon
you wanna
ladder is
describe it?
basically like a pull-up. You're supposed to do a pull-up and then physically move the pull-up bar up like a rung
while
as if it
you're
were a ladder.
doing a pull up in the air. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're free falling for a second as you press the bar back up onto the next rung. And this was like a completely DIY, like homemade salmon ladder.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like the first time we tried it, we were like, oh, I think we're about to break this
And I was
thing.
afraid I was going to break it.
And like I am a taller guy, so I started from like a higher up rung. And as soon as I failed, like it's a decent drop. It's not like a very far
Yeah.
drop, but it's enough to like
It's like half
make me
your height,
land on my
maybe, yeah.
like back and be like shook for a second. But it was still a good challenge. I was able to get one rung, which
Yeah.
felt good, but
Mhm.
I don't think I would have been able to get up the whole one. And even after you get up, I think the point of that one was to grab the rope behind you and then keep on going into
It's
another
all about
obstacle.
the combos. You know, it's funny. I remember at one point, I think you were there for this, Andrew, but I know me and Alex were there. We were like kind of like playing around with how there's so many like combos and all this stuff. It's like go
Yeah.
from this to this, and we were kind of like making fun of it, like just jumping over tiny boxes and like
Yeah.
then doing like a somersault. Like
Oh,
we're still
yeah.
in the combo.
Yeah, I was like jumping over.
I was watching that from afar and
Yeah.
being like, what is going on?
that was like the parkour aspect.
That was,
of
like,
it.
my
Yeah.
favorite
Visual.
I actually remember that well. like-
Parkour is like one of the easiest things to make fun of in the world. So
Yeah.
it's, like,
It was
very-
straight out of like that episode of The Office. There,
Yeah.
You were doing that, Alex, and like you guys like moved stuff around, and Chris was kind of commentating, and Alex was doing like a weird kind of like fake sprint thing. But then I remember you sprinted into the work wall room, and there were people there. And like, oh, what's up, guys? You know,
Yeah,
rubbing
I
his
don't
head
think I
and
got
stuff.
that
You're like, I'm
worked.
technically still mid combo. So.
But that was fun. Like stuff like that. It's fun.
That's why like
we're
the
just goofing
atmosphere
around.
of the place
It
was like
was cool.
really fun
Yeah,
because that's
right.
kind of what
Atmosphere.
it's there for. Like it's enough of a low key, like it's a very niche hobby right now or activity.
Mhm.
So it's like just go and do whatever you want. Like
Yeah.
they like made the stuff themselves. You could tell the people that work there were like really into it. So they just wanted us to like have a good time and maybe be into the hobby eventually.
Yeah, I
too.
wish I asked more questions about like to the workers, just about like who comes there, like because
Yeah.
there was a mix of people. You know, there were people there's the people like who were doing it as a workout, which is
Yeah.
mostly just the workers, us, and there was like two other groups. There wasn't a ton of people there.
I think most of the people there were like trying it out, just like
We're
we
like first timers.
I don't know,
Yeah,
there
I
was
think.
like that group of girls, like those two girls. You guys know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
seemed pretty good at a lot of the stuff. I
That's
could see
true,
them
yeah.
being there before,
Mm,
but they didn't seem like Mount Midoriyama quality,
yeah,
to be honest.
we did see our rival podcast there.
That's true.
Yeah, they were prepping for a nap.
What I thought was strange was that like they had that room in the back that said like actual ninjas training like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m.
Wait, is that true? Is this
yeah,
true?
yeah. It
Oh,
said,
I didn't see that.
Come back when you're qualified.
2 a.m. to 4
Oh,
a.m.
not true. It's not
I
true.
believe that.
That's ridiculous.
Weird
Ninjas
hours.
need to get some
Yeah,
sleep.
I guess
I
they
don't
come
know.
out in the dark.
They should. I think that was my one complaint. I think they should have been more ninja stuff. Like
Yeah,
should have been like I don't know.
Ninja
I wonder if that's
stars?
like a legal thing.
not,
though.
not ninja stars,
Like, I
but just
bet-
kind of like I don't know, just kind of like playful stuff.
Well, I bet enable to
Be
get
a ninja, you know, stuff like that.
Well, it's
Like
supposed to
ninja classes and stuff like
and
that.
you gotta take that up with American Ninja Warrior. I feel like
So I was
these
just-
guys are trying to base off of American Ninja Warrior.
But I bet that's like a licensing thing. Like in order for them to say
Yeah.
they are an American Ninja Warrior gym, that's probably a lot of money to
Right,
like
'cause
get involved in that.
You're right.
'Cause
Yeah.
they
So
did
this
it-
is-
it's just
yeah.
called action athletics. It's
Yeah,
not
which
called, like,
they just said it's like
It might be called, like-
I don't know what
Yeah,
they
obstacle
call
training, I
it.
think
It's
is
something
what
like
it's
that.
called.
Yeah, it has a name. But yeah, nowhere did they.
It's
I mean,
probably. Do you think it's not official?
no, I don't think so. Because otherwise,
Probably
they might as well
isn't.
just call themselves Ninja Warrior. You
Yeah,
know,
like for marketing wise,
American
might as
Ninja
well.
Warrior,
Yeah.
Boston area, or
But
something.
they did say that like. I remember someone came in to check out like for a birthday party if they
Yeah.
could bring their kids there, and they were saying like they play it on the TV. So
Yeah,
it's-
yeah,
they
you're
embrace it, but it's probably like, they got to
Yeah,
call
it is
themselves Action
weird.
Athletics for a reason.
It does make me think like there aren't other like is Wipeout still a show? That's the only other
thinking about
obstacle
that.
course show I could think
God,
of.
Wipeout is the perfect example of what we were talking about earlier with like making reality TV
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
like a like.
Like, what's your thing? Like, oh, I'm a dad who wears jeans.
They
You know?
literally would like
Yeah.
announce that on.
Yeah,
Like, moving
that's
on to the
him.
next round.
But
the
that-
dad who wears jeans.
Exactly.
Like
That
they wouldn't
show-
even say his name.
That one's a little different because it's like it is actually a comedy. It's like a
Right,
comedy
right, that's
reality
true.
show.
Yeah, they
Whereas
aren't.
this one
they
they-
pick people who are bad.
They took it. Yeah, this one they took it and like took the comedy aspect of it seriously and like
We need to go to a wipeout.
blew that
gym.
up.
Yeah.
Now, that would be
so
that
much
would be
fun.
so
Oh my
fun.
god, they should have wipeout gyms. But did you
Uh,
guys ever watch that show MXC?
Oh, I wanted to bring that up on the
'Cause
episode.
that's like
we
American
watched this one
Ninja
time.
Warrior.
Oh,
Yeah.
we
It's
did
the
watch
one
that.
with,
Yeah, that was funny.
I
It's like
love
a
that
Japanese show with like commentary. Oh my god, that's such a funny
I feel
show.
like they could do that. They could easily remake that show right now with American Ninja
Yeah.
Warrior, right?
Yeah,
That's
maybe
basically
they are
what
doing it in
was.
Japan.
Oh wow,
That would be
imagine.
funny.
Because isn't that what that show was? It was like weird obstacle course like challenges.
Yeah, and then they just did American commentary over
Hold
it.
on, wait.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
Do you know Mr. Handshake Man? Was that on MXC?
Yeah, it was.
He
I
like
don't-
tried to get the
I
longest
vaguely
handshake.
remember it.
See, I feel like he did that in the United States though.
You've
Hmm.
totally lost.
For
me
some reason, I see him.
I don't know if they're totally linked. I
Do you know who I'm talking
I
about?
do know who
Who's
you're talking about.
Mr.
So
Hand?
there's
Oh
this
no, I think
guy-
it's a different thing. He literally would show up to celebrities and like shake their
and
hands.
try to get the longest handshake he could. So he would pretend to be an interviewer, be like, "Oh, it's so good to meet you. So, like, what are you doing in this next movie?" And
Yeah.
there would be a clock.
Sounds like
and be
Impractical Jokers.
yeah,
Something
but
like that, yeah.
Impractical Jokers is like such a weak comedy.
Save it for
This is
Impractical
like
Jokers.
actually
I think
funny.
it's kind of funny, dude.
Actually, it is a funny show, but
Yeah.
it's like
It is weak comedy. Yeah.
I could never hang out with the Impractical
Yeah.
Jokers
Sure,
today.
sure.
Whereas I would shake Mr. Handshake's hand
for
for
hours.
10, 15 minutes at least.
I've been shaking his hand this whole episode.
Yeah, for some reason I feel like I remember a clip of Mr. Handshake hand or Mr. Handshake man's hand shaking hands with Shaquille O'Neal.
That sounds.
Am
right.
I wrong? The big Aristotle?
Andrew?
I was lost.
I think
a
it
while
was
ago.
Will Smith. I remember. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Well, either way, American celebrities.
Hmm.
All right, but either way, check out MXC. It's a great show.
Oh,
I'm sure
Yeah,
there's
it's
clips
funny.
out there on
It's definitely
YouTube.
funny.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to bring up about?
The only other thing that I had fun with was I'm sure I had fun with other stuff.
Yeah.
We did go to a nice pizza place after, but I'll save that.
Oh
for
yeah,
later.
I was gonna
Um,
say, which might bring into my ratings, just the whole day
It was a good day.
afterwards.
It was good.
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
it
it
That was
day.
a good,
It
just a
worked.
good friend's day. you
You're
know?
right. It worked like differently. Whereas like in Boda Borg, I got into like the competition, and that made it less fun. But in
Yeah.
this, it was just
Yeah,
like,
for
all
all.
right, well, let's just have a good time, and then we were able to get lunch after.
Yeah.
And it was just
We might bring
nice.
it up in
You're
a
right.
future episode, but we did some more hobbies afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Oh no.
It'll come up in a future
It
episode.
will. Phew, hype that.
Actually, you could buy that episode online. We'll really try to up it, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So, it's our best episode yet.
But I did like they had a little foam pit that you could jump into, which I
Yeah,
think
that
was
was
for the
fun.
kids' parties, whatever. But I mean, we jumped into it. I still had fun.
Yeah.
But
Good
I think that's one thing that, because I will say this place wasn't super cheap. What was it, $25 to get to?
$25 for like
Which
2 hours.
I think was a fair price. But I would have felt more satisfied if there was more like, I don't know, like if there was like a big trampoline to jump into a foam pit, like that's
almost
like,
almost
know?
like
Yeah.
almost like a rope. You know,
You know
like
what
a
they-
ropes course where you're
yeah,
like tethered
something like
in
that.
and
More
you
stuff like in the air.
They
'cause-
have that at Sky Zone. Like
yeah,
at
yeah,
trampoline
yeah.
parks,
And
they
Sky
have
Zone,
like
I think is a little cheaper.
real. Oh, really?
I think it's like 2015.
They have like real like big foam
Yeah,
pits that
which
you
I
could just
love.
do crazy jumps into, and like a dunk hoop and stuff.
Yeah,
like-
Obviously, that's different from American Ninja Warrior. in
Yeah,
that
but if they
respect,
could
but
somehow
I
get a
know
little
exactly
bit
what
more
you're
of that,
saying.
and I think
yeah.
I'd have a little more fun.
I agree
Yeah,
completely.
But it's less of a workout. you
Yeah.
know,
I feel like
obviously.
on American Ninja Warrior, you have to like take risks for certain things, but you know you'll be all right because you'll fall into the water. At this gym, there was no place where you could really take a risk
Mhm.
because even just the foam pit was like size of a desk basically. Like,
Yeah.
you're right. You need like a big foam pit like that to like get that
Make
adrenaline
you feel
going.
better.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys want to get into ratings then?
Let's do it. Yeah.
So for the folks at home, we do ratings. We rate the challenge, hobby, or activity on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the best it possibly could be as a challenge, hobby, or activity. Ooh. Ugh. What happened there? And then we give it a yay or nay if we're going to continue the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, you want to hop in first?
All right. I'm gonna start, and I think I've been able to keep my rating kind of close to my vest this time.
Yeah.
But I think I might actually surprise you guys. So I had a pretty good time. It was fun. There was, okay, I'll get into it. I did not think there was a whole lot to do. That was a negative for me. Is I felt kind of like you could have just made up a bunch of this stuff on like a playground, not necessarily like besides like the little trampolines they would have. And there was like a little rock wall, but they have that at playgrounds too.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a
Yeah.
whole big thing besides the warped wall, which was a lot of fun. But besides the warped wall, there wasn't like a whole.
And the warped wall was 6 inches lower than it should have
Yeah.
been. So even the warped
Yeah.
wall was
That
like
was
slightly less.
It just
than,
didn't feel like I would want to go back there. I felt like it was not worth the money. I did have fun, but at the same time, I think a lot of that fun was because I was with you guys.
Yeah.
And not because I...
Oh.
Dude, stop. It's not what I meant. And not because of the obstacles and stuff. Like,
So,
I enjoyed watching us fail.
You guys are a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, so I'm just going to say, I think I was... After talking it out with you guys, I'm actually going a little higher. So I'm going to go 5.5 nay.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Never before seen rating from Andrew. If I don't
Potentially.
have
Oh, yeah.
nay.
Might have been a first.
Maybe, I don't know. All right, Chris.
Yeah, kind of similar to Andrew. You know, I don't know what my expectations were. I didn't do
Yeah.
a ton of research before. Alex booked it for us. I hadn't been on the website until literally we were like, I think once we got there, I went on the website on my phone while we were
Wait,
waiting.
you booked it yourself though, didn't you?
Oh, you're right. I did book
I
it.
was gonna say what?
Oh wait, hold
Who
on.
paid for
Whoa.
you?
So I guess I just booked it. I booked it really quick, not
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah. Wow. Jeez. I was
Just clicked a few buttons. Like, definitely didn't get on the website.
no. I bought secondhand tickets on
Chris
Craigslist.
just
I actually only paid
Chris is
$20.
staring at his computer, and it's just a pronunciation video for Mount Midoriyami. He's just going,
Still wrong. Going up the warped wall was fun. I didn't succeed, but I had fun trying. But like a lot of the other stuff, I just couldn't do. And rock climbing, there's plenty of stuff I can't do. But there's also some stuff I can do. And there it's like, there were certain things there that I was like, I won't be able to do this unless I practice a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And then there was the stuff you could do, but it felt kind of like the baby stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And I felt like the dude with the biceps was like, heh.
Yeah.
So
I'm getting like worked up thinking about this guy.
yeah, I was excited because American Ninja Warrior show is a show I like to watch, but this just like didn't do it for me. I think I gave going to the gym a 5 and a yay. This one, I think I'm going to give a 5 and a nay.
Wow.
Because if I had the option between the two for a workout, I think I'm going to your standard gym and not
Oh, yeah.
doing this.
I
And
agree
also,
there.
I mean, I had fun as like an activity, but again,
Yeah.
I think it was because I was with some of
Yeah.
my bros and
I thought you said simple-minded people.
Mumbled that really fast. Because I was simple-minded people.
play it on like
Simple-minded
50%
idiots.
speed and you'll see.
All right, yeah, I gotta say, like, nothing that came as a huge surprise from both of you. Like, I would agree for the most part. Before going into this, I work in the same town as this gym, so I was like trying to talk to people, like seeing if they've been there, and every once in a while, someone would be like, "Oh, isn't that a kid's place?" And I'd be like, "Oh God, like, is it a kid's place?" And then I looked,
Sure it was.
and it said 18 and up for the time that we went. So I was like, all right, there's no way it's a kid's
There
place.
was also like less than 10 people there for the whole time.
Oh yeah, no
for the
doubt.
whole 2-hour window.
And I think that was the only time that you could go if you were over
Actually,
18.
yeah.
Am I wrong?
So yeah, I think you're right.
Besides like members or something.
besides like during
Yeah.
the week, there's like classes. I think.
Yeah.
So like the whole time when I went in, the whole time like in the back of my mind I was thinking like, we're like at a kid's place right now, and it did feel like that. The stuff being super low to the ground was like, it shouldn't. If this was meant for adults at all, it wouldn't be like this.
It was like our unreleased episode on Chuck E. Cheese.
Exactly. The whole time I felt like I didn't belong, even though I was right at home. You know.
Sure.
So like, I don't know, the whole like, and all the obstacles. Like, you're right. Anything that was there could have been done at a jungle gym, basically. So I never felt like I was really getting my money's worth. Almost what I think should have happened was the first, because it was a 2-hour thing that we paid for. First hour, it should have been like, we try out each obstacle individually. We try out the warped wall. We try out the salmon ladder. We practice on like hanging things. And then for the second hour, they set up like an actual course.
Yeah.
Then I would have had like I would have felt like I achieved something.
Yeah.
Because that's what I want. Like, when you look at what we
Right.
did.
Like we
it's
wanted to
nothing
train for a
like-
course.
Right, what we did was nothing like American Ninja Warrior.
Right.
Except we happened to be like hanging on things some of the times. And we did the warped wall. But to make it actually like American Ninja Warrior, make it some kind of competition. And I think just as like a business, if they're looking at it as a business, they would get so much more people to do that. Like, I would tell people, oh, this was a great time. But right now, doing what we did, I'm not going to recommend this place to many
Definitely
people.
not. Yeah.
Maybe kids. I think it would be a great
would be
place
fun
for
for
like
a
a middle
birthday
school
party.
birthday party or something. So like, I think as an idea, doing an American Ninja Warrior is a great hobby. It's a cool thing, but you got to go to the right place. The place that we went to, 4 out of 10 nay.
Wow. So I had the highest. Jeez.
Not thrilled with it. But the activity of American Ninja Warrior, I guess, I would give a higher rating, but it's not what we're rating.
All right.
All right. If you guys at home know of any other better gyms, I'm sure there are better ones in the Boston area, probably. Because I remember looking one up before this one even moved here. And you know what? I do feel bad because this place is like, it just moved in.
And
it's
the people
unfinished.
working there were nice.
The
You could
people
tell
were great.
like they really cared about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
But
know. Not my
I don't know.
hobby.
And I'm less impressed at the biceps guy because like this is a kid's place, dude. You know, stop showing off. All right. So I guess we'll get into the next section of the show. It's a new segment that I like to call.
Not again.
I like to call. Who's that Hollywood hobbyist?
Oh gosh. Tell me
God.
more, I guess.
All right, so welcome to Who's That Hollywood Hobbyist. You guys know I have like some connections in LA and like Hollywood, right? Like some of the big wigs in the movie
Hobbyists
industry.
or real people?
Real celebrities. I have like an ear to the streets kind of in LA.
Yeah,
and I
you
kinda
have
know what
those
they're
A-list
into.
connects.
So I like hit up
Especially-
some of my buds in Hollywood, California, Hollywood, the Hollywood. And I said like, you guys have any hobbies that I could bring up on my show? And a few of them wrote back and they said like, oh, like, of course we do. Here are mine. And actually, I'm a big fan. I would love to be on your podcast. So I have a few guys that are on that want to be in. Oh, I just spoiled it. Guys, yeah, they're all guys.
Okay.
They wanted to be on the podcast. So I'm going to ask you guys like a few. I'm going to give you simple hints. You guys are on the same team, so it's not no competition. I'll give you guys 2 hints, and you guys have to guess the Hollywood hobbyist. And then I'll just play a little soundbite from them that they wanted to bring up.
Oh, so they're not here, but you talked to them when you were
They sent
the
me,
last time you were
they sent me a
a
soundbite, yeah.
Cool.
Snapchat even, yeah.
Wow.
So this first one. This guy's hobby is being into typewriters. That's hint number 1.
Okay.
Any idea yet? Don't guess yet. Any idea?
Typewriters. I don't know.
Not sure
Okay.
yet.
Second hint. Life is like a box of chocolates, he once said.
Dang.
But this guy would rather be typing that sentence out on an Underwood Universal typewriter instead.
I actually was thinking that was
Wow,
for
that's
some
funny 'cause
reason
I-
my guess, but
You're not
yeah.
talking about your friend Tom.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Wow.
So let's see what old Tommy had to say. Fair warning, I haven't listened to any of these yet, so let's hear what Tommy has to say.
Thanks for having me on, Alex. You guys are great. Andrew could probably be a little better, to be honest.
Oh, Tom. Tom, that was Tom Hanks doing his famous Forrest Gump impression there.
Wow.
And my God, it looks like you took a blow at Andrew.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that was not cool,
That was a
Tom.
little rude.
I'm a
but
huge fan of it. I
Sorry.
like you on Facebook.
I'll text him back.
Yeah.
He-
I wish we could have heard more about the typewriters.
I know,
Maybe
I
if
wish
we
I
ever do an
could.
episode, we can get him on.
This next guy might be a little different. He's a good pal of mine. The next one. Here's the first hint. He's been quoted saying he has no hobbies. Any ideas yet? Don't guess yet, Chris.
I think I know who it is.
I have one.
Guess.
I have 2
I know
people
who
in
it
my
is.
mind.
Number 2. We might have been walking after episode 26.2 running a marathon, but this guy's walking for another reason. It's his last name.
Oh, I was wrong.
Yeah, I was thinking like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone.
I was thinking, is it Big Sean, that song?
Do you guys not know who it is?
Oh yeah.
No,
it's
now I know it's
Christopher
Christopher
Walken.
Walken.
Christopher Walken.
But do you know
Is
what's
it Big Sean?
the Big Sean at the
Sean
beginning when he
Walken?
says, "Ain't got
Oh.
no job, ain't got no home."
Oh, yeah. What
I think
does
you
it
might have
say?
submitted that as a theme song. He is one
But,
of
well,
my favorites, too.
But this
Well,
guy
let's
told
hear what-
Alex personally.
Let's
so
hear
it's a little
what
different.
old Chris has to say.
Yeah,
Not
let's-
Chris the host. Chris
Your
Walken.
buddy Chris.
Thanks for this great opportunity, Alex. I love the show. I just wanted to say that Chris probably shouldn't quit his day job.
Whoa. Christopher Walken.
That's
My
messed up.
God. He took a blow at Chris. These guys
Christopher
are
Walken.
ruthless.
Yeah,
Oh, my
that's insane.
God. I'm starting to think of this. We should never do this segment again.
Jeez.
Well, we got one more.
I thought you told these people your friends.
Now, this is one of my really close friends in Hollywood, California, movie stars.
It's in
live
Los
there.
Angeles County.
And here's the first hint. Fans at home, if you know, send in. Play along. First hint. Even though his favorite episode is episode 46. Oh, wait, this is all just one hint, sorry.
Okay.
Even though his favorite episode is
46.
episode 46, his true hobby is episode 34, air travel. Because he can't stop saying, "Get to the chopper."
Oh boy! You finally
Any
got him on.
guesses?
That's
Wait,
Arnie, right?
yeah, is that
Arnold
Arnold?
Arnold
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger.
Nice.
He emailed in and left a little voice message on our voicemail tab. Let's see what he had to say.
Hobby dot whatever it is.
Alex sucks most of all. I disagree with everything the other guy said. Kick Alex out and give Todd a mic, for God's sake.
Oh my God,
Ruthless.
Mr. Schwarzenegger!
Jeez.
How could you say that? Oh,
I'd love
well,
to see these three in a room.
Yeah.
Just talking about
He didn't even talk about the podcast at all. He just got straight into bashing you.
Jeez.
I'm decently upset here, and for some reason, Arnold Schwarzenegger must have known what the other two celebrity guests said beforehand.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really make sense.
That's
but
crazy.
wow, all right, well, thanks for being on the podcast. That was Who's That Hollywood Hobbyist? You guys won. You got all three right. I'm
Oh,
impressed.
Yeah, that's
Good job.
good.
Yeah.
Yep.
congrats.
You guys want to get into the next segment of the show?
Yeah, please.
Please. I'd say it's about
Let's put
time.
Who's That Hollywood
This next
Hobbyist
segment
back in
is
the
called-
graveyard with Seasons Riddles.
All right, next section of the show is called What's on Your Mind? And we like to start this section off with a fan-submitted theme song. This week's theme song comes to us from Salmon L. Thanks, Salmon. All right, so for What's on Your Mind, we like to talk about what's on our minds. But first, we like to get a little fan-submitted What's on Your Mind action going on. So if you have something that's on your mind that you want us to talk about, send it in via email, ineedahobbypod@gmail.com. Snapchat, ineedahobbypod is the handle. Twitter, ineedahobbypod, but don't do that. Instagram DM if you want. The voicemail tab on our website, ineedahobbypod.com. That's it. Or text it to us if you could find our numbers hidden on our website. So this week's What's on Your Mind comes from fan of the show, Dave. He said, what's the plural of asparagus? Asparagus? Asparagi? Either way, I love the podcast and I love you guys. Asparagis? So what do you guys think?
That's a good one.
Yeah, quick one. Let's
My
see.
heart is telling me asparaguses.
I'm thinking asparagus, actually.
I feel like based on
feel like
what I
that's-
know about words that end in US, it should be asparagus.
Asparagus is like the end of a joke, some kind of joke
Yeah.
with like
Yeah.
so what did the farmer say to, oh yeah,
How many?
asparagus.
What do you want? It's like
Asparagus.
what did the vegan farmer want from the poultry market? Hey, how many? This turned to a sketch. Hey, how many geese? How many of these poultry do you want? I want asparagus. Then he's holding up a 2, but really it's a 2 for a peace sign because he's such a friendly vegan. And he's showing the peace sign.
I want you to spare some peace.
Sorry.
Pardon?
Can
So
you spare a piece? Oh, I'll have asparagus.
dude, I just want the asparagus.
I
I
think
want one
alright,
asparagus.
I think you just said it. I just want the asparagus.
Oh.
That's it. It's like a bushel of asparagus, I think is the plural, but you cut out the bushel.
Because it's like if you were to say, "Oh, I'll buy 1 pound of apples," you'd say that. But then if you'd say, "I'd buy 1 pound of
I'll buy a bushel of
asparagus.
apples. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so it's asparagus.
Yeah.
But like, yeah,
It's not satisfying.
what's the
though.
plural of circus? Because that ends the same
That's
way,
true.
right?
Circuses.
Circus?
I feel like that sounds right.
Circuses. That's another joke.
Circus?
What does
Circuses?
what does the nobleman get from his grandma every morning?
Circuses. Ugh. God, you creep. What the heck? You said on the
Yeah.
lips, too, didn't you?
Give me a circus.
Doesn't make sense why he would get a circus to begin with, though.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He just loves juggling.
What
Loves
did the-
episode 31 juggling.
Yeah, he's a ringmaster of himself.
What did the insane clown posse, whose alternative job is a knight in shining armor, get from his grandma in the morning? Sir kisses on the lips.
I got one. I think I got the winner here.
Got that,
What do
okay.
you call a heavy metal cover band full of lawyers? Sir Kiss.
Because you call a lawyer sir.
Sure.
Why
Yeah,
did-
that was like, the
Why didn't
big
you say
reveal
knights in shining
that
armor
you
like
call,
we said?
You call a lawyer sir?
Yeah, that's what I call my
I
lawyer.
think they say that in like British Parliament. They say like.
Yeah, I
sir
was
to
talking about
lawyers.
British Parliament. All right. Well,
Yeah,
no
I
answer.
think we've
Sorry,
got
Dave.
enough of this.
All right.
I think it's asparagus.
I think
probably.
it's asparagus, but it's a fair question. I'm glad.
It is a fair
I'm
question.
glad, Dave. Thanks for emailing in or
Mhm.
whatever. I think that was on Snapchat. Thanks for letting us know
Mhm.
what was on your mind. All right. Chris, what's on your mind?
Okay, here's what's on my mind. So I'm on Facebook.
I bet it's going to be law firm based.
Yeah, of course. It's going to be law firm, heavy metal cover band bass. I'm on Facebook. I'm sure a lot of you guys are.
Yeah.
Facebook events, I'd say, is a big feature of Facebook. That's not.
I wonder if I know what you're getting at. Here.
You're definitely not. Well, maybe you are.
I might.
It could be a stretch.
Yeah, because you're simple-minded. He brought that up earlier
What
in the episode.
Facebook event did I see today was 90s bar crawl.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Sponsored by Kel from Keenan and Kel.
Thank you. So I see a lot of these bar crawls on Facebook, and I've gone to a couple. They're fun. You usually pay, and you can get into bars, and you get a free drink or something.
Yeah, it's like the atmosphere that you pay for.
This
It's like
one was compelling to me because for $20 you can go to this bar
spoiled your
crawl.
what's in your mind.
Is this
now.
in Boston?
It's in Boston, and Kel from Keenan and Kel
Yeah.
is going to be there.
The man who loves orange soda is going to be there.
So here's my question to you guys. Now, Kel, he's no huge celebrity these days, but I mean, if I
Right.
saw Kel in
Kind
public,
of is though.
I'd be excited.
No.
I think he's
Not these days.
I'm thinking of Keenan. I think.
yeah,
you're
Keenan.
thinking
Keenan's the one on
Keenan's a
SNL.
A-list.
Keenan, honestly,
yeah,
who
Keenan
really-
hangs with Bobby Moynihan.
Keenan, I would never say is an A.
Yeah, he does hang with Bobby
Keenan is not an
Moynihan.
A-list celebrity. He would never make it onto Hollywood Hobbyists.
That's true.
For
He
now.
tried.
No.
He did try.
he did try.
I guess so. I just wanted an opinion. So $20 is what less than we paid, and you can go to this party with Keenan.
No,
Kel.
Kel.
Sorry,
Kel.
jeez, getting mixed up with Kel. For an additional $40, you can go to the VIP
Oh, I
party with
didn't
a
know
meet
about
and
this.
greet with Kel.
Ugh.
And for an additional $20, you can go to the VIP party, no meet and greet. I guess I'm wondering.
So it's $80 for. Wait, what?
Sorry, I did it in
It's
the
$80
wrong.
to stay at home.
I did it in the wrong. Okay,
What?
I'll break it down. $20 to get into the bars.
Yeah.
$40 to go to the VIP party.
Another 40.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure it's either 60 or 80 to get all of those with a meet and greet.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess my question is, does Kel being a part of this make you want to go to the bar crawl?
Honestly, I'm planning on going.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
I literally-
before like
yeah.
I've talked about this with my roommates. Like
Yeah.
we're probably gonna
'Cause,
go.
yeah,
When is
I was-
it? When is it?
It's in September. I think
mid-September.
mid-September.
I was
do
thinking
that.
about going, but
I'm not
I'm
going to see
also,
Kel, though, to be honest.
yeah, I was wondering. So, would you guys drop $60 to?
I probably
say
would.
hi to Kel?
To be honest, I probably would.
I think I would too.
I would
I
definitely
don't
do it
think
for the
I would.
podcast.
All right, yeah. If we're gonna do it for just say the words for the pod for
Like,
the
I would
podcast
definitely do it.
and
And
definitely do it.
the thing about these bar crawls, like one of the things they're advertising is like if you go to all 9 bars, you get a T-shirt at the
Mm-hmm.
end. I don't know how many bar crawls you guys have done. It's impossible to go to all
Yeah.
the bars.
Yeah.
You go to
the
like
lines are
maybe
so long
2 or
nowadays.
3 tops.
Yeah.
You find
Yeah.
a good one, you stay there.
Yeah,
the
because
lines
the
last
lines
forever.
the lines take forever.
Kel is there at a lot of them.
Yeah, Kel's there.
The last
peeing in
3
the
bar crawls I went
bathroom
to,
and
Kel was there.
making it a mess. It's 3:00 in the afternoon, and there's all the bars' bathrooms are already a mess. You have to pee on the streets of Boston for God's sakes.
Yeah. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'll
maybe
be there.
we'll do
I'm
an
excited.
episode bars 2 with Kel.
We should do a bar crawl episode if we do that. Because
Ooh,
bar
yeah.
crawls, I feel like, are distinct to
That's true.
Yeah.
bars, especially these themed ones.
And that one
Yeah.
could be like, I mean, I feel like maybe I'm thinking too lofty here, but I feel like that could probably be an episode on its own.
90s
Just
bar
like
crawl.
90s bar crawl. That'd be
featuring
fun.
Kel.
Yeah,
Was he have a last? Does he have a last name?
I'm sure it does.
Wait.
Does he or is he a Brazilian soccer player? Kel.
He has the same mom as Ronaldinho.
All right, real quick. Have you guys have you guys been to like these themed bar crawls before?
Never like a themed one. I've
No.
been a lot when I was abroad. I went. They'd have like
Yeah.
stuff once for people from America.
I went to a Halloween one, and I went to like a Christmas one, which I guess is weird. And we all dressed up like they gave you free Santa Claus
Oh, I remember
costumes.
seeing that one advertised. Yeah.
Oh, this is something. I'll say it real quick. During that bar crawl, I was dressed up as Santa, and and I had this cane that was at the bar. So I was walking around with the cane. I think it was someone else's, but I had it in my hand.
A candy cane or
No, like a full-grown
Gotcha.
cane. It was like a candy cane made of plastic, but it's
Okay.
full size. And someone's like, "I want that cane. Here, take this beer koozie." And it was a Santa Claus beer koozie. Looked just like the costume I'm wearing at the time, not at the time of recording, at the time of the bar crawl. So I was
Different
like,
costume on now.
this is so cool. Like, it was awesome. And I'm walking around, and the guy who owned the cane originally starts yelling at the girl who gave me the koozie, saying, "That's my cane. Why did you steal my cane?" Little did he know, I did accidentally. So he gets mad and takes it from her. She goes, "Hey, what the heck? Steals my koozie. Now I got nothing." What the heck?
That's what it.
I was
That's
so
what'll
mad.
happen at a bar trial.
Yeah, so that sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
I
that
feel
man.
like we could do
Kel.
that. Future
So
episode.
maybe I'll get a Kel koozie.
Hopefully.
Coincidentally, that's his last name. All right, Andrew, what's on your mind?
All right, here's what's on my mind. So I saw a movie today, actually, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Yeah,
It's the first time you've seen it?
No, it's the second time I've seen it. Actually, it was good.
That's like a classic movie that a lot of people have seen multiple times. I
Yeah.
feel like.
Yeah.
It's a good
Fun
one to
fact: my
watch
brother
over.
named after Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day
No
Off.
way.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Nice. There's a fun fact.
So his
Very
name
fun.
is Cameron.
Yeah, you could say that.
Nice. Yeah. So at the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off and many other movies, it's actually totally unrelated to Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but actually. Maybe I'll try to sneak this in. The during credit scene.
We can sneak it in at this point.
The during credit scene of Ferris Bueller's Day Off is so weird. The scene is where it's like the principal and he like gets on the bus and they're playing that super weird song that just says "Oh yeah" the whole time. You know that song? It's like
yeah.
"Oh
yeah.
yeah,"
Yeah, I do.
and he like gets on the bus and it's just like super slow and drawn out, really strange. Like it's like you're ready to turn off
Alright.
the movie and it makes no sense.
But it's during the credits. So
Right.
if they're going to throw that anywhere.
It's super.
That's
It's
fine.
very.
If they want
weird.
to sneak that one in.
Yeah, very uncomfortable. But anyway, what I'm getting at is at the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, at the credits, they have this thing, the huge long Roman numerals, MCM, blah 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 blah, like
Really?
copyright. Yeah, like the Roman numerals of, and I feel like it was very popular in the 1900s, where it'd be like copyright, MCM,
The year?
L whatever. Yeah, and it would be the year. But it's like, why was that a thing for the 1900s when it was like so long and drawn out?
That's
Why
true.
didn't they just write copyright
Yeah, what the heck?
1986? But it was like, and this is a common thing in mostly the 90s. I feel like they don't do it anymore. But on like old like PBS shows, I feel like and stuff.
I don't know if I've noticed this.
Did
but
you not notice
I've
this,
definitely
Chris?
seen
Do you
it
know what I'm
before.
talking about?
Maybe I would
trying to
recognize
think
it now.
I'm trying to think if they always do it, or if it's.
It was
just-
on definitely like
Either
there was
way.
a period
I
of
have seen it
time
for
like
sure, yeah.
probably late 80s to like late
Maybe it's
90s.
just like a thing that
it was just
some
a weird
studios
thing
do
that it
or
was.
But it's during the credits.
Yeah,
So it's not like a stylistic thing.
But I
where
wonder if it's like
just
a
good.
it's a
It
weird
doesn't make sense.
copyright. I don't know.
You think
Yeah.
it's it was like part of the law?
I have
Every
no
single
idea.
law
I
got
just
changed?
thought it was really strange because I remember seeing. I saw it today and I was just like, why did they do that? Like,
Yeah, that is weird.
it doesn't make any sense. And then once 2000 came, it'd be way easier. It'd just be like MM something.
Yeah.
a lot
And I
shorter.
feel like I never see it.
And now
Like now it's just they do the
do
numbers.
the longer one now, probably. Which
Yeah,
is like
somehow it's
one
longer now.
extra digit.
They just write dots for each year. It's
Wait, that is weird. But now I want to like.
Watch
Look
the
into
I
it
gotta
more.
try to
It's
see
true.
it because I don't. I'm sure I'd recognize it, but it's not coming. to
And
my
you should
mind now.
rewatch that
That
during
end
credit scene because there's also a post credit scene which is also weird. It's just Ferris saying, "What are you still doing here?"
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
Well, breaking the fourth wall action.
like the whole
He's known
movie
for
is that. But yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
All right, yeah,
that's it. That's
interesting.
all. Nothing important.
All right, I guess I'll get into what's on my mind.
Please.
So I was going for a run the other day,
Mm-hmm.
running episode 7, running,
Mm-hmm.
and I run on a lot of times. If I do like a longer run, I'll run on this like walking path that's by my apartment. Runs right on the water. It's very nice. So I see all these people walking. It's a Sunday morning, so people are walking with their kids, their families. A lot of people are out running. A lot of people are out like pushing strollers. So I see this one woman coming towards me, pushing her stroller, and I look. There's a cat inside of it.
Oh,
Isn't that weird?
That's weird.
What the heck? You think
like
she was
that's
just
like-
going for a walk with her cat?
Hmm.
I guess
know.
that's exactly what she was doing.
It's just strange. 'Cause
Well,
it's weird because like a lot. I
Yeah.
know like I don't know a ton about cats, but there's indoor cats and outdoor
Yeah,
cats.
I don't understand
and
the
like so
difference
it's,
between that.
it's
already.
weird that there's cats that don't ever go outside, and especially where we live, like kind of close to the city. Like I guess how many cats actually go outside regularly?
Yeah.
So maybe she's thinking this cat needs some fresh air.
But I think outdoor cats are outdoor cats to like
to wander.
like
and-
indoor cats. I think die if they go outside.
That's true. But
Like,
maybe she.
would die
But
from
yeah,
the
maybe
elements,
she's
maybe?
like, I'll keep it closed, let it outside.
Wait,
'cause-
not from the element.
No, that was a joke. I think it was because it was in a closed stroller.
oh, so no fresh air.
So I think it was it was probably like mesh.
yeah. Okay.
So I think it was an indoor cat, and she wanted to like.
The
she
cat was
wanted to,
in the
like-
stroller.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what I thought you said at first, but then I was like, "Oh no, I'm not going to sound like an idiot." And
Yeah,
ask
it was
if the cat
sitting
was
in the stroller, human baby style.
Was she running
what
or
about-
walking?
She was walking.
What about the actual baby that has to use
Oh, there
that
was no
stroller?
baby. There was
No,
no
but
baby.
I mean, like,
It's,
She
it's a
bought the
cat
stroller.
bed.
She bought the
There could've
stroller
been a
just for the cat.
you think so?
She was like probably in her 60s, 50s.
Oh, so
Okay.
probably.
Because unless she kept her stroller around, I don't know what. It makes me think she's only one step away from walking down the street which I don't know what you call these, but you know, like the front backpack things where you carry your baby in.
Yeah.
like baby
She's
Bjorn
one
or
step
whatever.
away from carrying her cat in the front backpack.
Yeah,
thing,
which honestly,
is insane.
it's
no,
insane,
Chris is
but-
about to say it's normal.
No. I was gonna say it's. I think to me more normal than the stroller somehow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I think they're no. I don't think so at all.
don't know.
Really.
I do. I somehow do.
Well, either way, they're
I don't
both.
know.
The
They're
stroller-
both incredibly weird.
like, I don't know. A stroller is just such a staple of a baby. Like,
I know.
you gotta have a
like,
baby in a stroller.
I
You
like-
can't have anything else.
I like jumped when I was running by. I was
Did you
like,
think you were the human at first?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought at first you were saying that she was just taking the cat on a walk, which also
which is
freaked me
weird
out.
too, right?
Yeah.
If like a cat, but like, so if I'm upset with her being with the cat being in a stroller, I'm not mad, but I'm like weirded out by it.
Mhm.
You're upset.
Would it be more like if I saw a cat being walked on a leash? I think I'd punch the person in the face. That's so weird, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know
You
what's
should just-
normal here.
Instead of being violent, just buy them a stroller.
Yeah,
Seems like that would
put
work.
that on your front-facing backpack for God's sakes.
Gosh. Wow.
So yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
That's strange.
Imagine like a tandem stroller with like baby and one in cat.
The baby's like on the bottom part of the stroller where you put like the groceries.
Aw. Jeez.
Even if I saw a dog in a stroller,
Yeah.
I would like that though. I think because maybe if a dog's like has a broken leg, they deserve to see. Andrew's
being
shaking
really
his head.
hypocritical right
Andrew's
now.
shaking his head. A dog deserves to see
What if-
the great outdoors.
Cats don't.
Cats deserve to stay in the freaking litter box for God's sakes. Andrew wakes up and gives his cat Sir kisses for God's sakes on the lips.
He named his cat
Yeah,
Sarah.
he is a royal knight.
All right, but yeah, I do like cats. I think I am turning into a cat person, which we'll save for another
For the
podcast.
pet episode.
Yeah, we mentioned that in the.
Yeah, but it's like
Or
every other
previous
day
What's
I
on Your
feel
Mind.
like I could go for a cat in my life.
Well,
Really?
Yeah. All right, Chris, you want to hit us with the plugs?
sure. The plugs. So,
Wake up.
what? I was just thinking
Taking a
about
cat nap over
I was
there.
having I was having a flash of Alex being like having a cat and just walking it around town. So the plug. So IneedAHobbyPod.com. Go there to find everything I Need a Hobby. Find all our episodes there through iTunes. You can find our Twitter, Instagram. Go on our Snapchat. All those I Need a Hobby Pod.
Yes.
Please keep rating and reviewing our podcast.
Share the episodes with a friend. Tell
a
a friend.
friend.
About the
It's
podcast.
actually someone told me this earlier.
It is the 5th annual Bring a Friend to I Need a Hobby.
Yeah,
Pod
and it's
Day.
weird that it's annual, but it's seemingly every week. But
We had a lot of pre-recorded episodes.
That's true. We recorded them all at the same time. So yeah,
And shop on Amazon. I need a hobbypod.com/Amazon. All your shopping is it's the same Amazon, but it just gives a little bit extra to us.
yeah.
And the stickers are still available, so let us know if you want an I
Yeah.
Need a Hobby Pod
I'd say-
sticker.
I briefly talked about this with the guys before, but I think we've have some marketing ideas for some new products that we are going to be getting out very soon. Hopefully by the end of the summer, we'll at least have like a set in stone
Yep.
thing, maybe for our year anniversary that we can say,
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
more
And
merch.
let us know if you have any idea. If you want some I Need a Hobby swag, we're thinking about
Yeah,
it.
let us know.
We're
Please
having
email in.
meetings every day talking about it. So.
Yep. True.
Cool.
All right. See you next week.